Now, from Into Tomorrow, this is an ITTV special report.
And, of course, the best way to start off, as always, is with the event director. It's always nice to have the top dog at any event kick off the broadcast, kind of help us set the stage. And, of course, we're doing that again this year. The Game Developers Conference, where every year creative minds are meeting, lots of networking going on. They're learning, they're inspiring each other and others, and all sorts of cool things happening. The event director for GDC is Meggan Scavio. Meggan, welcome back Into Tomorrow. How are you?
Thanks, Dave. I'm good. I'm really excited.
You should be. This is another great show. I mean, there is so much traffic. There's so much activity, so many people. The exhibitors that we talk to, and that's typically how we determine if a show is good or not, are so pumped about the number of people that they're talking to and the great contacts being made. That's a sign that you and your staff have done a heck of a job.
There's a lot of enthusiasm out there, even from the conference attendees to the exhibitors to the expo attendees. Everyone is just really excited about the video game industry this year.
What has you most pumped about this event this year, especially, let alone the industry in general?
Well, for me, it's just walking around and seeing all the smiling faces and seeing people talking to each other. I mean, the GDC really is a venue to exchange knowledge and enthusiastically exchange knowledge, and that's what's happening this week in San Francisco.
And you know, we hear more that word networking from everybody we talk to here, I think, than anything else, which is really speaks volumes to what you guys have put together, the ability for whether it's just game composers from a music standpoint, and we'll talk to several of those this week on the show, whether it's folks with just great ideas for games or how to enhance something or devices or any number of things having to do with this industry. People are getting together and being so creative.
It's the only week in the calendar year where the entire game development community gathers in one place. And I can't tell you how many times this week I've heard it feels like a family reunion.
Yeah, that's true.
And
it's, you know, I've referred to like old home week, you know, and being able to talk to people that we haven't spoken to in a year. That's great.
And you go into any session or walk the floor, and who knows who you're going to sit next to or walk past. It's pretty exciting.
And speaking of some of the sessions, there are things that people are just standing in long lines to make sure to get into. I mean, of course, always great keynotes here at GDC, but also great opportunities for folks that maybe are interested in a different aspect of this industry that they haven't gotten into yet, and they're learning from it, and more importantly, learning how to get into it.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the audio guys. We have an audio boot camp that took place on Wednesday, and it was so full we actually had to put speakers in the hallway, and people lined the hallway and sat there for a full day and just listened to speakers.
Wow, good. It's like church on Easter Sunday or something. You know, it's just it's standing room only.
It's standing room only,
everybody shows up. But that again is just dynamite, because it warms the cockles of your heart, I'm sure, to know that so many people want this knowledge and they're just craving this information. So.
And we've worked really hard this year on crafting the content. We have an advisory board of 18 industry luminaries who spent months working with the speakers, mentoring the speakers, and crafting these amazing sessions. So I think this is going to be the best GDC yet.
Well, tell me about the keynoters here. What has come of some of the bigger speakers that have been having the opportunity to chat with so many people?
Well, our main GDC keynote is Sid Meier, and he's pretty famous for being one of the only people who can put his name in front of a game. So he did the Civilization series, and he just finished his keynote this morning and did a Q&A. And most keynotes don't do that, but he's such like a warm, giving, down-to-earth guy. And the focus of GDC keynotes for me are putting important developers, legendary developers on stage and giving the audience access to them.
And how cool is that? Because people have left there saying, he's a real guy.
He's a real guy. Or I heard someone say, I shook Sid Meier's hand, and they were just thrilled. Yeah. And it thrills me to know that I gave them that opportunity.
And that's great. And people do come away with being inspired from, of course, that's the idea of keynote speakers in any kind of a trade show. Yes. But in this industry especially, because so many people are so hungry to learn more and to do more and to get more involved in this incredibly growing industry. Like any industry, the recessionary times have hurt, but I think this industry has continued to thrive even in these last couple of years where folks are realizing we all need that escape.
Well, we had, last year it did affect the game industry.
Sure.
The recession absolutely did. But what it also did was force them to become a little more innovative and find alternate ways to make games and get them out into the public, which is what they've done.
Not only to inspire more competition, but that whole creative aspect of things. People are saying, hey, you know what if we try this? And back to that networking opportunity. If we all get together, we can make some killer games, and they're doing it.
Exactly.
As you walk the show floor here, Meggan, what has jumped out at you? What's really got you excited and say, oh, wow, that's neat. I'm glad I had a chance to see this so far.
Well, for the first time this year, we're focusing a lot on, we're not focusing, it just happened to be a lot of development for smartphones. So Google was here for the first time this year, ever. They did a big phone giveaway. They gave away over 2,000 phones to the mobile development community just to get their hands on the game, on the device. Like the
Nexus One and so forth, and they're saying, here, develop more games for these devices.
Exactly. Here, let me give you, and they had to pay for these phones. So they spent $1 million giving out 2,000 phones to GDC attendees in order to get them to give them the opportunity to develop on that platform. BlackBerry was here this week. Palm was here this week. We had an iPhone summit. So there's a lot going on, and a lot of really exciting stuff going on in mobile gaming, I think.
And how cool is that, too, that, folks in terms of mobile gaming, they tend to think about DSs and those kinds of devices.
Exactly.
But what do you carry with you all the time? It's your phone.
I mean, Apple doesn't really consider the iPhone a mobile device anymore.
Yeah, true.
If they ever did.
Yeah, if they ever did. That's true. Well, of course, now the iPad, if you're standing in line and, already ordering that.
Oh, you pre-ordered it already. I know you have.
Not me. No. It doesn't have to have an Apple logo for me to like something. So I don't drink that orange juice or that Kool-Aid. That's what it is. Maybe it should be orange juice. I don't know.
Less sugar.
There you go. Less sugar. How has GDC changed, do you think, over the years in general? I mean, as you reflect some of the great events you've done, certainly the growth of the industry is just amazing. But in general, how do you think the event has changed?
Well, we're in our 24th year.
Wow.
And it's changed fundamentally from being a conference that focused on computer game design to just game design, also all assets of game design. It really just changes with the industry. We added a social and online game summit this year because of the outburst from the Facebook gaming community. I mean, that took everyone by surprise, and GDC reacted by including content that focused on that. So.
And, of course, continued growth. So who knows what's in store for next year, but hopefully we'll be here as well, and we'll be able to chat with you to kick it off. Thanks for doing just that, setting the stage. Now the next 3 hours, we talk to many of your exhibitors and attendees and learn more about what this industry is doing for the world.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here, Dave.
Our pleasure. Thank you very much, Meggan. And, of course, you want to visit their site because it's the Game Developers Conference, so GDConf.com. Very easy, GDConf.com. You'll learn everything about the hard work that Meggan and her team do in putting this annual event together. 24 years.
24 years.
And I thought we were around a long time at 15. That's awesome. Keep up the good work. We're back with more as Into Tomorrow continues from GDC this week in San Francisco. I'm Dave Graveline. This, the Advanced Media Network.